to the breakfast hour. It is a privilege to be here. Now, we have been having so many conversations, weeks going, and we have been talking about investment. I don't know if you have been following our investment series, but the very last subject that was discussed was entrepreneurship
Mhm.
as a tool for investing or to grow your wealth, And the Bible does say God wants us to prosper and be in good health. So I believe now that it is appropriate that joining us this morning in studio is Elder Rohan Riley, and he is here in the capacity of an ASI representative. He'll share more of what that entails later on. Michael G, I'm not lonely in studio.
Good morning, Ella Riley. I want to say good morning, Lady Elise. This morning, of course, it's Monday, right? And of course, another week has started, and today, we are really in good spirit because so much is happening around us today. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about what's happening in our society and around the world today. But before we do all of that, we're going to talk about what's happening in Cayman this morning and
Yes.
across the international scene where ASI is concerned. Good morning, Ella Riley.
Good morning, Mikey G. Good morning, Elise. And as I said, this morning I'm here representing ASI Cayman. You normally hear me representing ASI IED, but this morning I'm representing um, Cayman.
You have to break it down to our very first time viewers. I must tell you before you go any further that we have the privilege of sharing with our listeners, our viewers, everybody this morning that guess what? We
Wow.
have achieved over 200,000
Wow, wow, wow,
views
wow.
on
Congrats, congrats.
YouTube. Yeah. So we are aware that these persons might be seeing you or meeting you for the first
Okay, okay,
time,
okay, okay.
and they want to know what IAD, ASI, all these wonderful abbreviations. What do they
Okay,
mean?
okay. Well, ASI stands for Adventist Layman Service and Industry, and what that is the organization of Seventh-day Adventist business owners and professional members who come together to do various things, to impact the community, to share in mission outreach, to pool their resources, to do health promotion, educational promotion, various things. It's basically the Adventist business and professional community that comes together to impact the world around them. And so ASI exists in many countries. In our region is called Inter-America, which comprises of the Caribbean countries, the Latin American countries, and also Venezuela and Colombia. And for the last 2 years, I've been privileged to be the president of that regional body. We have chapters in almost 40 countries around the region, and we do various activities and various initiatives. Our website is asiinteramerica.org, which shows a lot of the projects that we have been doing over the years, and so that's very exciting. But here in Cayman, we have a chapter, and it's Lady Elise is our director, and so I am a director of that board also by virtue of being the president of ASI IAD. So I'm here supporting a very important project that ASI Cayman has coming up, and I'm asked to share that. This initiative is being led by the ASI team, the treasurer Shri, Elise, Brother Lyndon, and some other members of the team are leading this initiative, and I am acting as an advisor and consultant. So I am here in that capacity.
So I like the fact that we frame the conversation, Elder Riley, to say that the Bible does say that we should prosper and be in
Yeah.
good health.
Yeah.
And ASI has taken this personally.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you're a member of ASI in Cayman, this is the time to get on board.
Okay.
We know what is happening in the world. We're talking about rising costs and so, but we know that we will more than survive. We will thrive even in this environment. So tell us what this thriving looks like in the next project that ASI has right here in the Cayman Islands.
Well, just generally, entrepreneurship or small businesses is a very important way to increase your wealth. It's a very important way to to thrive.
Yes.
A matter of fact, a lot of people, I always say to people that nobody is going to get wealthy working for somebody else. And a matter of fact, if you look at the 2% wealthiest people in the world, they have one thing in common, and that is that they have their own business. That is not to say that there's not a place for the career-oriented person, and we encourage that also, because everybody can't do this thing. But I'm saying,
Yes.
if you are projecting down the road for your retirement, for times when you want to pull back,
Yes.
entrepreneurship is something that you should consider. Entrepreneurship provides us with independence.
Yes.
It provides an opportunity for you to look at a problem and impact that problem, because sometimes you are in an organization and you see something that you could be met, but you don't have the decision making power.
Yes.
But when you're an entrepreneur, you have that opportunity to say, here's a problem in my community, there's a need in my community, I'm going to put together a plan, I'm going to put together resources, and I'm going to make that into a business. And so entrepreneurship is something that we encourage people to get involved in it.
Yes.
But for those who are in business, and a lot of our members and a lot of our Adventists are in small businesses here in Cayman, and they are in so many different areas,
Yes.
of entrepreneurship. They are in construction, they are in mechanic work, they are in retail, distribution, plumbing, a number of services that our Adventist business people are
Media.
involved in. Media, of course. Well, I don't know if I call this. I don't know if I call this small business.
Yes.
So I mean, there's a whole list. As a matter of fact, we have close to 100.
But let me ask you this though, Elder Riley. So suppose I have an idea and I'm not sure what would be the next step. Is there some sort of resource that's afforded in ASI that I can come and get some help?
Of course. Is because of our network and because of our bank of resources that we have both in Cayman and globally.
Yes.
We can access persons who can, for example, if you're in media and you have a challenge that you might want to address, you want to expand, and so we can say, okay, we have somebody in Colombia, we have somebody in the US who has been in this kind of industry,
Yes.
and then we can make the link to them. So whatever the idea, I said, if you have an idea, there's only one thing that business really needs, business really needs customers.
Yes.
So if you identify a need and people pay for that need, that's all you need to start a business, because the resources will come. I've known people who have no product.
Yes.
Right? They have no product, they have no resources, but they see an idea and they know people who would
There's
buy
a
this from
need.
them.
Yes.
And so you can go and find it from. So I know a guy in the US who he sold things based on the classified ads. He found people who were seeking things and found people who were selling those things, and he simply put those people together. He never touched the product. He bought it from this person, delivered it to that person, and the money came through him, and he got his profit. So there are many ingenious ways to look at entrepreneurship. But as I said, here in Cayman, it's exciting to see the wide spectrum of businesses that people have really gone into to make a living and to serve the community. And so we want to support that.
Yes.
We want to support in a big way. And so ASI decided that we are going to do something special for these folks.
Yes.
We're going to do something special for them. And so on May 28th this year, we are going to put together a business expo. Okay, it's going to be a business expo that's going to be held at the Lion Center. So May 28th, the Adventist Business Expo is on at the Lion Center, and it's going to be a wonderful event. We're going to have all our Adventist businesses displaying their products, displaying their services. We're going to have people from the community coming in and sharing in this. When you come into the expo, you're going to get one of our sponsors is going to be giving an all-day chair massage, she tells me. And so when you come to the expo, if you're feeling tired, you just sit down and get an all-day chair massage. And we're going to have the medical booth where people are going to come and they're going to get their medical checks. There's going to be business counseling.
Yes.
So there are going to be people on there who can say, you can go to and say, I have a business idea. How do I do it? Or you want to say, I'm in business, but I'm having some issues. How can you help? So we're going to have a business counseling section there. And of course, you're going to get discounts. I know that Lasco will be there giving out samples and giving Aiko drink all day, and so
I
that's going
fall
to
for
be,
life.
and many other businesses are going to be giving out samples.
Yes.
And there's something that we're going to have an opportunity on that day to, so we're going to have you can win a death cycle. And how you win the
Ah,
death cycle, we're going to see who can pedal the furthest in 1 minute. And so anybody who comes and sits around the death cycle and they pedal for a minute, and then at the end of the day, we're going to see who was able to go the furthest.
so you're promoting health while promoting
By
businesses,
promoting
and
business, by promoting
that's
business.
amazing. Because sometimes when we separate the mission,
Yeah.
we don't connect the
Yes,
dots
yes,
really well,
yes.
and that can impact us. Now, I noticed that there was something on that flyer that we had up. It said free, and I know everything costs something these days.
Yes, yes.
If you're going on an aircraft, believe
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
Elder Riley, even though you pay your fare, you need to purchase your seat.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, yeah.
I've been meaning to say I have a chair at home. Can I take him?
I would say to you, Lady Elise, as I come on that topic about free, many persons
Yes,
say, Michael G, could you do this thing for me? A lot of times
yes,
I've been asked to do several different things, and so I would say yes, I will do it for you. But then that I will do it for you comes with a free price of saying this
yes,
is the cost of you. This is what it's going to cost you for free, which means there's some expenses that occur for me to move equipment,
yes,
for me to buy certain, if even batteries for a microphone. I'd say, but this is
Yeah.
so. I put a $100 cost on the free. That's what it
yes.
looks like because I'm not charging you. Because if I charge you, it's $1,000, but $100 is free.
It's
It
Yes,
free.
might
yes,
Yes,
sound
yes.
funny to say that, but the
Yeah.
reality is free is not something that people understand. But then there's a
yes,
place where you can say, I am doing this for charity. That's a
yes,
different matter altogether because
Of course,
you would
of
have
course.
decided for charity. And so charity
Yes,
means
yes,
you're going to give without receiving. But
yes,
then free,
yes,
if somebody come to you and say, can I do this for me? Then you must expect that there must be some moving costs or some background, light bills, some rental for the property that you might be
yes,
utilizing.
yes,
Something might happen from that. And so it might ask someone to say, contribute $50 or something towards the venue or
of
something.
course, of
And
course,
of
of
course,
course. Because yeah, because what it means is that when those people are coming into the fair, and we are inviting everybody, all the church
all the
members,
community,
all the
everybody.
community, all the people from the school, because part of the program is going to be a careers fair, and we're collaborating with UCCI, and they're going to
Yes,
be there to talk to the young people about the career options that are available,
yes,
to talk to adults who might want to change careers about what are the options available, not just in the regular traditional areas, but talking about skills and trades
hmm,
and so on. So that's going to be on. And so we invite the school to send down their students. We invite people in the community who are thinking about what can I do? I'm working in this area. Is there something happening over here? We're going to be talking about AI. We're going to talk about different opportunities in the industry. And so that's all going to be there as part. So it's not just a business expo. The business expo is the main part where we're looking at all these Adventist businesses and we're going to say to the community,
yes,
all these businesses are available. If you want to get a good plumber, if you want to get a dog trainer, if you want to get a contractor, if you want to get a car wash, a laundry service, if you want to get a landscaper, all these services are available in the Adventist business community. And so we're saying to people, come, but we're also saying to others, we're going to team this up with a career expo. And we have the folks coming in from UCC to help us to get that part of it going. And so it's free to the public. And you can enter all day and get all the services free. For the businesses, we're saying, as Mikey G just says, it's also free, but to rent the facility, Lion Center, and to get the booths up and so on, there's going to be a small charge. It's $100 to ASI members. You go on. If right now, if you click on ASI Cayman.interamerica.org, you will see the registration form, and you'll see the cost. It's really $100 for ASI members, and for those who are not, it's $150. And this is just to cover expenses. This is not a charge because when you come there, you're going to get your business promoted. You're going to get a chance to speak about your business. During the promotion leading up to the event, we're going to have your business going to be featured on all our advertisements, in our brochure. We're going to give you an opportunity to do a video of your business and present it. So there are a lot of things that are going to, small business are going to benefit from. We're just asking for this $100 to go towards defraying the cost of renting the Lion Center, getting the booths up and so on. And so it's not a charge. But for the public that's coming, it's entirely free. You come in, you look around, you get your samples, you get your discount, and you just have a wonderful time with us. That day, we're going to have music playing in the background all day. We're going to have a little mini concert at the end. It's going to just be a wonderful day of celebration to introduce the Cayman, the Adventist business community, in a meaningful way.
All right, so just remind us of a date.
So it's going to be June 28th. So that's June 28th, it's Sunday evening, June 28th, and it's going to be at the Lion Center. And we're inviting all of Cayman to come out and see, and you'll be surprised of how many businesses exist in the Adventist community, and come and share with us, come and enjoy the day, and come and learn about Adventist businesses. And also, as I said, come and get some idea about what career options are available to you. So it's asicayman.interamerica.org. That's the website, and all the information is there.
All right. Mikey G, will you be
Yeah,
there?
I'm thinking that that's the place that Flashpoint would be definitely be necessary for us to be. We must be at one point promoting the event, and of course to be participating in the outflow of what's taking place on the ground. What's happening on the ground must be reported. Of course, we must interact with a few persons. Of course, talk about their businesses. Of course, you can have the opportunity to talk to us at Flashpoint and expose yourself even more by using Flashpoint's platform to expose your business even greater. So yes,
Okay.
Flashpoint will be present for that occasion, and of course will actually be a part of the enhancing and of course helping persons to move from one stage to the next and assist in the process of ASI,
Okay.
spreading the message across the globe and across Cayman once again. So yes, we are really appreciating the conversation this morning, Ella Riley, and of course we are thankful that we have gotten something. You have created something that people can really connect to. This has been a very tedious task, uphill climb, if you may, for many persons who are in business that cannot make a connection between customer and their business. And even with so, to try to change some of the stigma that some people have about even their own persons who would do business, because we have a lot of talking going on in the background. But this is an expo that will definitely change the landscape, not just of Adventist business, but business in general. But for specific tasks, I believe that this is an initiative that was necessary for a long time. And while it was there for a while, I think people have not connected the dot properly. And so I'm happy for you to come out and make this exposure and is doing this expo for persons to be exposed to a new idea and of course to buy into it, to support each other is where we need to be. And I believe it is where you have pointed that arrow this morning. I'm thankful for this conversation.
I'm feeling excited, Elder Riley. I sit here and I feel the energy already, and I can just imagine the setup right there at Lion Center. Business people, members of the community from everywhere, Eastern, North Side, West Bay, Georgetown, every single area right here in the Cayman Islands coming together, unified in this one mission. So, Elder Riley, I want you to address our listeners or viewers this morning and give them a personal invitation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, a personal invitation to be there on the 28th of June
Yes.
at the Lion Center.
Yes, yes. So we want to invite everyone to be out on the 20th of June. We're going to have the Adventist Business Expo and Careers Fair, and it's going to be a great and wonderful time. You're going to see the wide spectrum of businesses that are available in the Adventist Church. We're inviting all the members of the Adventist community to be out. We're inviting all the public, everyone, irrespective of which church you are going, come out and see the businesses that exist, see the alternatives to how you can support local businesses. And so come out on that day and share in an afternoon of fellowship and fun. And as I said, we're going to have a lot of guests singing. We're going to have medical people doing checks. We're going to have health activities going on, and we invite you to come down. Plan to come down that evening. It's after church for those who go to church on Sunday. So you come down about 2 p.m. and we kick off the event. And I'm saying to all the Adventist businesses, you have to reserve your booth early because the Lion Center can hold just so much people. As a matter of fact, since this is the launch of the event, and so for these 2 days, any Adventist business that registers, they get a 50% discount. So anybody registers within these 2 days, they get a 50% discount.
Did you hear that? It's not all the time that we get. Did you just hear that? If you register within these 2 days, that
Today and tomorrow.
today and tomorrow, 50%.
50% discount on your booth. So we invite everyone to rush and get registered. I think Flashpoints. And get registered, and you will be in on that because it's, as I say, it's limited, and we have one of our small businesses, all events. They'll be helping to put together the decor. She is a decorator.
Amazing, amazing.
And so we're going to be using our
Yes.
own businesses to
Yes,
do that. So it's just going to be a great time to come together and to also to promote the businesses and to help the businesses to grow. Because as Mikey G says, connecting businesses with the customers is a critical part.
That's the most
No matter how
important.
beautiful your business is,
Yes.
if you're not connecting to customers,
Yep.
your business is not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
we want to help with that, and we're doing it for free.
Free of course, as we said, free comes with a cost. And of course, LRL will tell you that it's not giving you a cost to say you must pay something, but contribute to your well-being as well. Of course, people who are just passing by and who are just going to come to view the event and to interact with those who are with the business community, you don't have to pay anything. But for those who are going to be setting up booths, please, as Ella Riley say, go to the ASI website and register right now. It's just a menial $100 to contribute to the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's more than reasonable. I think anybody hear this right now should be jumping out of their shoes and saying, where can I sign up? Where can I sign up? And
Yes,
so I think
yes.
everyone should get on board and get a chance to, even if, I don't think, let me ask you a quick question, Ella Riley. Even if you're not an Adventist business owner, could you put a booth there for yourself?
Well, the public is invited to come in with us, right? For this particular expo, we are promoting the Adventist businesses, and because there's a limited space, but however, as I said, we have a certain amount of booths. If the Adventist business community doesn't take up those booths, then we can look outside, but we're reserving those booths for the Adventists. And maybe next year we can open it up, but because we have over 100 businesses and Lions can maybe take 50. We can allow 50, so there are going to be 50 Adventist businesses that
Yes.
are not going to be able to be there.
Yes.
And so we're giving the first opportunity to register.
So a limited space only for a limited time only. And
Right.
so you're looking, Ella Riley, you just preached a sermon a while ago, right on the mount, like Jesus, where he says, I have the robes ready for the welcome you. The robes are here, all white, ready for you to come. And so they didn't, Master, your honored guest didn't turn up, Go out in the streets, go out in the highways, and the byways. Listen, we don't want to preach this for Ella Riley. It has been a great morning.
I've actually gotten calls from non-Adventist businesses
But,
who want to come in.
Look,
And I've had to explain to them. But this one, we're reserving it for the Adventist businesses.
you can hold Ella Riley. You know what? You can hold the line as so long and much no longer. But I'm happy. What I'm glad for. Patience is a virtue, but not stupidity. I don't believe being not smart is a virtue at all, right? And this is a smart thing for every single person who is in Adventism right now, as Adventist business owners, should be looking out to try to grab this opportunity. You shouldn't be trying to work too hard to tell somebody this is a great idea, because I'm telling you that, as you said before, I am certain if you put it out there in the open market, it is going to be flooded, and your 50 space will have to turn into 250 spaces. You'll have to start to maybe miniaturize those booths to let more people fit into this spot and limit the walking space. You understand?
Yes, yes. So we're
Yeah.
looking forward for a successful time over there at the Lion Center. Remember, if you're tuning in, welcome you to the breakfast hour. Joining me in studio, of course, is a representative of ASI, Elder Rohan Riley, and today he is sharing with us an expo that you certainly can be a part of, and that is going to be held at the Lion Center on the 28th of June 2026. It's something you must be a part of. There will be prizes and surprises. There's a desk cycle that you can cycle. You can win that prize,
Yeah, you
right?
win in the cycle.
Yes, and there'll be samples and so much to share. And of course, if you are thinking about your career, that's also the place to be. So it's a one-stop shop.
As I ask, I would ask this one question: what's the value of that death cycle that one can? So I would say an added value of this is where we want to take it. How much would that death cycle cost someone on the open market if you did not if you want to purchase that death cycle, that very
Yeah, well,
important piece of
yeah, yeah.
equipment?
But on Amazon is 200 plus. I know it's 249 is the list price. If you call me for one, call the distributor. But so it's 200 plus. But you can just pedal for 1 minute, and you can walk away with it. So
So
you sit and pedal for 1 minute.
you have a
No,
whopping
it's not
$250 value. A 200, I want to say, let's mark this off as a $250 value of pedaling for 2 minutes and
1 minute.
walk away.
You pedal for 1 minute,
1 minute.
and you walk away with it.
Oh,
If you are the top pedaler.
now, you know what? Nobody can beat that. I think that's something that everyone would have to try to aspire to on the day of the expo. Ella Riley, it has been a very interesting conversation with you this morning.
Yes,
You have
yes.
exposed so much this morning, and of course encouraged so many persons who would probably never thought about having an expo for themselves. Some people might think, Ella Riley, that my business is not even one that is qualified to be shown or showcased in a prestigious fair like the ASI Expo, and I have this business for many years. But by just speaking here this morning, I hope they might be convinced or take the initiative to say, I don't downsize yourself or your
No,
business. Look at
no,
it
no
as
matter
an
how small it
opportunity.
is. No matter how small your business is. Because as I said, we have someone there who can help you put together your booth and to make it look nice. So even if it's a small business, I
Yes.
say come out and show it. Because your small business today can be a big business tomorrow. Any little business can turn into something big. And every big business, Amazon was just Jeff Bezos in his mother's basement. Every little business, Microsoft was Gates in his dorm room. Michael Dell used to go around and sell computers to his fellow students. Every little business can turn into a big business. So you're a little business, you're a little car wash, you're a little landscaping business. It can turn into something big. And so don't be afraid. No matter how small it is, you come on down and get registered and get on board, and we're gonna help you grow your business. That's
And
what
I
we
would
want to do.
and I
Help
would
you
go with
grow your
that
business.
one. I would tack on Mikey G in his living room with flashback.
Yes, 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 yes.
How far we have come, and you plant the seed. So I want to thank you,
Yeah.
Elder Riley, for sharing, stopping by here in studio and share with our listeners and viewers how they can become a part of what's happening with my words, a part of something wonderful. Is there a telephone number? I know we have an address, a web address. Is there a telephone number, an email address?
Yes, yes.
How I want to
Yes,
give
right,
persons
right, right.
options.
Yeah, you can email ASICayman24
Mhm.
at gmail.com. So ASICayman 24 at gmail.com. Or if you go on the website asicayman.interamerica.org, then you can make contact through the website. So just remember the website asicayman.interamerica.org, and everything is there: how to join ASI, how to register for the expo, how to make contact. asicayman.interamerica.org, and that will get you the information and get you right to the people who can help you get set up. So jump on board today,
Right.
tomorrow, and it's almost, it's less than free today and tomorrow. to jump on board and get registered.
And we'll just put this information in the description of this YouTube video as well. That's
Or
asikayman.interamerica.org. All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I know this expo will be a tremendous success. I know that the Lions Center will be filled with those persons who are aspiring business owners, as well as members of the community. It doesn't matter where you're from. You don't have to be a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church to attend. So community, everybody, please come on out and support this wonderful venture over there at the Lions Center, June 28th, 2 p.m. You must be there.
Thank you everyone for listening for this one. This has been a morning with a difference. Of course, we have much more to come. Thank you, Ella Riley, for joining us this morning for this segment of the Breakfast Hour.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit ASI Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. ASI Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call ASI Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Welcome back, everyone. On a Monday, we focus on what's happening in our world. We focus on the Newsmaker, what is happening. And sometimes it's good news, sometimes it's not so good news. Now, I don't know if you have been tuning in. Yes, if you have been tuning into the news headlines, whether it's the gas prices, and I think I have a record high gas price here in the Cayman Islands, that of $7.09. Right.
This gas price is like it's like the oil that is shooting up from the. Have you ever seen when they drill the oil in the ground and the crude comes up and it pops up the earth in the sky? I think that's how the gas prices is going up right now.
Yes.
Just shooting up, and I'm telling you, it's something crazy when I'm thinking about it. Many persons are now having more concerns than usual about how to understand the whole thoroughfare of what's going on. Of course, we know that there is a crisis in the Middle East, and many persons are now fearful for their very existence. I always say this. I'm thinking about this in this way. We know that when gas prices go up, it affects commerce in general.
Right. Yeah.
So food will go up. Goods and service will go up just automatically.
Electricity, utilities,
Goods and service, everything. Well, from electricity to water supply,
Yes.
food, transportation. Let's, if to name a few. Even if someone wants to book a hotel for a night, that price
Yes.
has gone up as well. If you used to buy flour for 19 for 3 for 10 cents, it's now maybe going to be 15 cents. Something else is going to be added on. It's going to be a little
Yes.
bit more, and so we have to see that. For your gas for your cars, for those who are still using the primitive way of travel, and using gasoline, and not, of course, gone on to renewable energy battery. Of course, I think I'm just making that one up. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so I'm saying, but we think about the idea of us not having gas and or prices of food and our main our staples have gone up. But the deal is I'm just crying over those persons who are losing their lives in those areas that have become volatile. That has I'm just feeling so sad for those persons
Yeah.
who are being
So,
affected in some severe ways. In those places. It troubles me.
yeah.
Yeah, troubles me.
Yeah. And it's one thing sometimes we don't appreciate because we don't have that experience. I had a colleague years back, and she would say other person's reality is different from other person's reality, and their reality will make them act or behave a particular way because of what their reality is. Now, one of the realities we do know that made the news this week, we will be sharing that with you, and then we will take the conversation to another level.
Where we had a very significant and catastrophic event this morning. Is
Let's do that one once again because I think we had
killed
lost
this
that.
morning.
Okay.
They range. So the house behind us is where we had a very significant and catastrophic event this morning. Is where 8 children were killed this morning. They range in ages from about 18 months to about 12 years of age. Our officers responded, located the 8 individuals, the children that were dead, and they tried to provide aid where they could, but ultimately were unable to save any of them. There was a child that jumped off the roof. We were able to get him to a hospital, and he is expected to survive. There's also 2 adult females that were injured during this mass shooting. They are both in critical condition. We are hopeful that they will survive. One is significantly more critical than the other. So the suspect shot the mother of the children first, then responded to this location and shot 8 children, 7 of which being his own. There was an additional child at this residence that was not akin to him. After doing this shooting, carjacked a vehicle just down the road at West 79th in Linwood, and ultimately our officers were forced to neutralize the suspect.
You see lots of people on the street here that are gathering for prayer and mutual support, and that's what communities need to do in this circumstance. It lets you know that evil still exists in the world and that we need to be fighting everything we can to overcome that evil with good, to shed light in the darkness.
Wow. Evil exists in the world, Lady Elise. And, everywhere you look, it has presented its ugly, ugly, ugly head.
Yeah, what I find challenging as we highlight newsmakers of the week. If you're just joining us for the breakfast hour, each and every Monday we select one item of news that has certainly impacted not just the community that they occurred, but also globally. And we might say this thing happened over here or over there, but I don't know if you realize the amount of domestic violence crimes that have been happening recently,
Well,
and these are persons
yes.
who are family members. So here in Louisiana, we discovered a father who would have killed 7 of his children, and the eighth child did not belong to him. And that's news that's unfolding presently over there in Louisiana.
A little least, it's sad to see, this kind of tragedy and trauma that, there's one of one person who escaped unscathed from jumping off a roof, one of the children, or jumping from maybe a second, I'm not sure, from a rooftop, they say, because it's not a two-story building, it's a one-story flat. I don't know how it gets to be on the top of the roof, but however he made it up there, he had to jump off the roof or jump from some high place and escaped certain death. So he will be living with the trauma of remembering what took place and how narrow he escaped with his life. Some persons would go through life either being grateful to God or being angry for different reasons and become something else. For the ladies who possibly who were also injured in the attack, and we are now praying for them to be alive. We have not gotten any more report to say whether or not they have not been stabilized and are still in care,
Yeah, they're
recovery.
still getting
And
care.
so
Two
we are,
adult women.
yes,
One is the mother of the children, and another woman was also shot. So that was quite rampant. We have heard about so many shootings. I remember us sharing on one of our newsmakers, Mikey G, the conversation over there in Canada,
yes,
and Canada, after years of very quiet, cool community, shaken by such disturbing news. So, as we see these things, it might not be happening directly in your community,
yes,
but certainly we can grieve the loss of 8 young lives being taken just like that. We speak how children are our future. We live this, and to know that these children, there are three boys, let me, three boys and five girls, aged 3 to 11,
eight
were
persons,
shot and killed,
eight,
right?
eight,
Eight.
all under that age
Yes,
of 12, I think.
yes,
Tragedy, tragedy, and it segue back into our conversation we were having earlier in regards to when we see. I want to just say to our people who are listening this morning, for those who are interacting with Flashpoint this morning, and of course the discussion, we are in our corner and we are grappling with higher food costs and gas prices and
yes,
amenities, light bill, water, whatever it is you're having are being affected by these things.
yes.
But there are persons who are actually affected by losing their lives in a different way, losing
Yeah.
homes, losing loved ones, losing family. Daughters are not
And
finding their parents, sons are they're not finding their fathers. Husbands can't find their wives, and vice versa.
I can't really imagine. And before things reach this high, because we have heard in relationships, spouses, and we're not able to hear this gentleman's story. A father taking the life of his very own children. And when you think of that, and the persons in the government are now encouraging persons to come together as a community and pray, because when you wake up to something like that that's happening on Sunday, uh, how do you process that as a community? And as a community, I am now using this term based on the biblical connotation or meaning, where we ask, who is our neighbor? Who is our neighbor? Is it that because I don't know this man who committed this crime, and I don't know the mother of the children, and I don't know those 8 children, that it really doesn't affect me over here, thousands of miles away? But I beg to differ at this moment. And that's why we are bringing this conversation to you this morning. And that's also why I'm sharing with you when we are alive and we get the opportunity to do something or to live our life or impact a life, let's do it in a positive way. There are persons who need to talk out situations. Sometimes there's a burden they need to carry, they're carrying. Can you be that listening ear? Mikey G, can I call you up and say, Mikey, there's an issue that I'm having, and I don't, I don't
There's what you're describing, Lady Elise, is trustworthiness.
yes,
Trustworthiness. Whether or not when you say the thing that you're going to say to me or dispense information
yes,
to me,
yes,
communicate those thoughts, I would be trustworthy enough to keep them and not repeat them to anyone else, but
mm-hmm.
for the sake of the conversation, could offer some advice or even a listening ear. Sometimes some persons don't need anybody to tell them anything. Sometimes that when you're talking, this is what I've found for a real is a real case. By just talking sometimes about something,
Yes,
you can
yes,
hear the solutions that you have been
yes,
grappling with. The problem that you have been grappling with, the solutions are present in your mind. But by
yes,
talking, you may
yes.
hear. In fact, sometimes you just want somebody to ask you a pertinent question when you speak.
All right.
You just ask the question, and then you say, "But I never thought about. What are you talking? What are you asking me?" And then by
Yes,
asking a question, you get a chance to back up for a moment, and then
yes,
listen that question, and then
yes,
process it. And by processing that, they could connect the dots to
yes.
their problem or their situation that they're talking about and the solution that have been evading them for so long, unable to figure it out, and now will be able. But then you have to have persons who are also wisdom wise in their ways, and able to actually be able to listen and connect these dots, and sometimes not offer solutions but allow persons to see what they can come up with by themselves, because you have the answers right inside you. But that listening ear that you're talking about, Lady Elise, sometimes it is a difficult one because many persons are scared to tell people something about themselves that next week you will not be able to live that down, because you might have this one day of breakdown of saying, I did this, I went through this situation, and next week, your life is going to be upside down because that person might not see, it might not be the way you want it, but sad to say, but it is good though. I still believe with all that chaos and all that I've just said, there are persons that you can find, that you can talk to. But then the question is, how do I pick that person? Because you can't make a mistake on the first run because you don't get a second chance to make a
And
first
also,
impression.
Mikey G, it is in these moments when you hear persons who talk about God and community, and the persons that you don't expect, so right there in the clip that we just played, the news item, there was a call for prayer as a
Yes.
community. And we still believe, even though sometimes we put God to some
Hoops.
space, we still
Hoops.
yes,
Hoops.
we still believe. And
Mm.
and there are questions that must come up that persons might ask when this is happening to these children. There's nobody to protect them. When we get children are indeed a gift from God, and it's a sad morning this morning to wake up to the news of 8 children being killed. Seven of them, their father would have been the person who killed them, and that's so sad. So members of the family told the U.S. media that the accused was facing a split from his wife. His brother-in-law told the Washington Post that he lived with the attacker and that he had been upset after his wife requested a divorce. After the first argument about the divorce, he acted like he was losing his mind. And so we recognize that the domestic dispute and crimes of passion would have left this family indeed struggling with the news of the death of 8 children this morning over there in Louisiana. Our prayers and our thoughts certainly go out to the community at large, and we hope that we too would have learned a lesson from this scenario, how life is so fragile and relationships are so important. Person's mental health, you know, so many. This is just one case of many, Mikey G. Unfortunately, one case among many.
Elise, it is one case. I want to put it this way: it is one case too many in this
One
country.
case. All right.
Of course, you want to go for the news, and, and then when we come back, our news is brought to us by Lasco Food, Drink, and Food Products. Of course, I Cool Water this morning. When we come back.
Good morning, I'm Coralee Karen, and here are your breakfast hour headlines on Flashpoint Radio. King Charles III to make historic Bermuda visit. King Charles III and Queen Camilla are set to visit Bermuda on May 1st and 2nd, marking a significant milestone for the island and the wider network of British overseas territories. The visit follows a state tour of the United States, including stops in Washington, New York, and Virginia, commemorating the 250th anniversary of American independence. Officials say this will be the King's first visit to a British overseas territory since his coronation and the first by a reigning monarch to Bermuda in 16 years. Governor Andrew Murdoch says preparations are underway for a ceremonial visit, including a guard of honor and a 21-gun salute. The visit will highlight Bermuda's culture, youth initiatives, environmental efforts, and maritime security, while also strengthening ties with the United Kingdom. Landfill fire sparks health concerns in Georgetown. Residents in parts of Georgetown are raising serious health concerns after smoke from a fire at the landfill spread across major areas, including the Easterly Tibbetts Highway and West Bay Road. Many residents reported throat irritation and difficulty breathing, while the Health Services Authority temporarily closed its Baytown House Therapy Department as a precaution. Emergency crews continue efforts to contain the blaze, while shifting winds have caused unprecedented smoke conditions. Authorities are urging residents to take precautions as concerns grow over potential toxic exposure. Cuban family pleads to remain in Cayman. A Cuban couple living in West Bay is appealing to authorities to remain in the Cayman Islands, citing concerns for their three-year-old son who has autism. The family, who arrived in 2022 after a dangerous sea journey, currently survives on limited government assistance. They say their son relies on specialized care available locally, care they fear would not be accessible in Cuba. Customs and Border Control confirmed that all asylum cases are assessed under Cayman law and international obligations, including humanitarian considerations. However, the family remains in limbo as they await further decisions. Global crisis driving up food prices in the Caribbean. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East is sending shockwaves across the Caribbean, with rising fuel costs pushing up food prices and increasing economic pressure on households. According to the World Food Programme, the region, heavily dependent on imports, is particularly vulnerable. Experts also warn of a possible El Nino weather pattern later this year, which could bring drought conditions and further threaten food production. Meanwhile, in Haiti, more than half the population continues to face severe food insecurity, with millions struggling to meet basic needs. Caribbean legal giant Hugh Hart passes at 96. The region is mourning the passing of Hugh Hart, a distinguished legal and political figure who died at the age of 96. Hart, a former Jamaican government minister and respected attorney, played a key role in shaping economic policy and legal frameworks across the Caribbean. Andrew Holness paid tribute to his decades of service, describing him as a committed nation builder. His legacy spans law, business, and public service, with lasting contributions to both Jamaica and the wider region, including the Cayman Islands. Those were your breakfast hour news headlines. I'm Coralee Karen. Thank you, and continue to stay tuned for more updates throughout the day.
Thank you, Coralee Karen, for the able way in which you present the news to us each and every day. A lot that's happening all over the world. I've been hearing a conversation, though, Mikey G, relating to how we can manage the cost in terms of the high fuel prices. And that conversation could include a scenario similar to what happened during the pandemic, where there was restriction on activities. And I'm sure that will definitely be able to control or limit the amount of resources. And that probably is a thought that is being held in some jurisdiction.
Well, I've been privy to some conversation that is happening across the Caribbean, especially
Yes,
Jamaica. I think I've been having some of those conversations, those talks, in basically bringing back the rationing of persons or restriction of people interacting within the society, going about your lawful business and want to be where
yes,
you want to be when you want to be.
yes,
Talks are being maybe being suggested, not just in the, and this is not from official channels, I might add. These are from people
yes,
on the ground, just listening to the conversation from news and persons talking about how
yes,
things can work. This is just gathering information. So people are just maybe just saying things. This has not come out from a government perspective. So somebody might say, Mikey G, say this, and say no. I'm saying that this is
no,
what's on the ground, what's being suggested, what people are
yes,
saying. And this is not just in one space. I've listened to it from other persons that are in different jurisdiction that are
yes,
saying that somehow the gas price has seemed to take, they want to take on the same protocols as the COVID protocols, where persons were sent out by virtue of their names, or possible on certain days that you can go to certain places, and probably locked down to stay home and work from home again, because you might need to stay inside to conserve on gas prices. Now, we have long passed this kind of thinking, and then when we saw the COVID, we knew it was something that we were going to be using a lot later on. And I hope and trust that they don't come up with this thing to say that this is the reason they are doing it, because I think that people are going to be looking at it again and say, I got you. I see what you're doing, and I understand what you're doing. And I don't think I want to be in a situation of lockdown anymore. I believe that to be be truthful about it,
yes,
because
yeah.
what we have proven, Lady Elise, It has linked itself to a lot of deaths. It has linked itself to a lot of mentally ill people. It has linked itself to a lot of anti-social events. And some of the things that we are seeing today is really linked to those spate of lockdown and that protocol that took place. The psychologists are coming out and saying these things now. We are seeing the evidence of it. So these are not things that we are making up. The data is out there now. We have seen it. Not to mention healthcare, where people have been losing their mobility and just simply dying for no good reason, or what you call underlined cases, right? And this is what we are marking up. So it's very troubling to see these things coming back under a new heading. And we're not coming with a conspiracy theory kind of thing. We're just looking at what the data is saying. We're seeing it as it is.
And Mikey G, let's think about what that would mean, because a lot of conversation came up after the pandemic too, because in terms of the resting eve of the earth and the fact that we did not have so many cars, so much pollution in the atmosphere, there was some the positive sides of what the limitation of activity, those things were explored. So, that's a conversation that's happening. Just wanted to share that with you. But so much else is happening in the news, Mikey G.
Well, what came out of that also, Lady Elise, was that Sundays were used for the day of rest. And of course, it was, the data came back to say, because nobody went out on Sunday and it was totally locked down, the carbon footprint was less, and so that provided the rest on the planet, and persons were able to, the planet, of course, Earth, benefited from that. As for pollution, I think what we could benefit from is less of those explosive devices that are being set off in the thousands and hundreds across our continent. That I think we could take a look at.
And then also making the news this morning, we hear of a Cuban family pleading to remain in Cayman. So they say their son is autistic and relies on specialized care available locally here in the Cayman Islands.
Lady Elise, I'm saddened by what's taking place. It's a bad thing. I would say to you that these persons would have provided health care for some of these people. Jamaica had an issue right now going on with Jamaica, where a great deal of their medical staff would be staffed by Cubans or Cuban doctors or other persons, had to be withdrawn because of the protocols that were put in place to say, you have to not do this. I'd have to take you out of the circulation because you are not supposed to be here because of protocols that have been implemented. I would say to you, Lady Elise, that these people would have provided health care for the region for decades, and they would have been on the humanitarian front of saving lives for decades, and the region would have benefited from these people's expertise and experience, just doing what they do for the region. And now, just by removing them, you can look at higher healthcare risk deaths and other conditions that will be risen from it. But guess what? Just stick it out, because tough luck to you, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I am just going to just leave the conversation on it like that, because right now we see that things are going to be what it's going to be.
Yes.
My mother always say that only one thing lasts forever, is salvation. But not just salvation, good salvation. Salvation. I will say it like that, because we know that wars and rumors, as people of faith and understanding, we know that rumors of war and so things are going to be happening all over the world. The predictions of the word of God must come true. And when they are coming true, they're not coming true because God wants them to come true like that. But it's because of the evil of man and the evil of and the enemy who is promoting this agenda and the persons who are acting on the agenda. Now we are seeing what's happening in the world today. So we have to, when you see these things, the Bible says, look up because your redemption draweth nigh. So I won't really, be too bothered by it. But the truth is, if you were in the lands where you by now didn't have any bed to sleep in, you'd have to be living in a cave and maybe with one leg already and don't have an arm, then you probably would have a different conversation. Looking up on your redemption draweth nigh would not be so easily said, because now you have a different situation with all sorts of powder and dust in the air that you cannot have good breathing, good air to breathe. It's another thing altogether, lady. It's you have to just see that. So it's what it is. But as I said before, when we are just looking at gas prices and facing food high costs and stuff, other persons are suffering from
Other things. Thank you so much, Mikey G. We have had a wonderful time this morning in our conversation. Of course, we welcomed Elder Rowan Riley from ASI IAD Inter-American Division in the studio earlier this morning. Then we had a conversation about the Newsmaker of the Week, a very sad situation happening there in Louisiana, where 8 children, all under age 12, would have lost their lives. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the community, to the family members, everyone impacted by this devastating news this morning. And of course, over here happening in the Cayman Islands, we want to thank Coralee for sharing the news with us. And I hope that you have enjoyed your time right here with us on the Breakfast Hour. Now, coming up tomorrow, our financial advisor will be wrapping up the investment series that he has been timely in presenting to us. What is your choice? What are you doing with your resources? Doesn't matter how much, but if you plant a seed and water it, it must grow. It must grow. So I want to thank you for tuning in this morning to the Breakfast Hour. And remember, our web radio continues 24/7 via www.flashpointmedia.ky. Log on and be impacted in a positive way.
Of course, do remember that Dr. K comes on Wednesday with Wellness Wednesday, another day of understanding your health and how to better take care of yourself. Of course, please join us. Of course, continue to enjoy Flashpoint. Of course, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Our web radio continues, Flashpoint Radio FM, right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. Have yourself a wonderful morning, and of course a rest of the day. Catch you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Of course, thanks to Lady Coralee, Karen, and of course our beautiful Lady Elise this morning for being here with me, and of course continue to spread the word.
And before we get out of studio, Mikey G, I must pause. I must pause at this moment to say happy birthday to a very special individual near and dear to the Flashpoint family. Jennifer, yes, Jennifer Hissing celebrated her birthday over the weekend.
Wow!
We must say happy birthday to you. We pray that the Lord will bless you abundantly more than you can ever ask, think, or imagine. I hope that you will have an awesome birthday, week, month, year, and the Lord will give you strength and health.
You know, we have 2 birthdays to celebrate as well, Lady Elise, and I'm telling you, it's as if we were just jumping off prematurely. And I want to say good morning to our listeners again. Once again, if you're just joining us, we are here in the Breakfast Hour every morning at 6:30 a.m. We start on Flashpoint Media FM every morning at 6:30, and I'm telling you that we are definitely enjoying the morning experience with you when you come on. Of course, if you never joined us before, start joining now. I met a few people on the weekend, Lady Elise, and 5K run, and experience some good breakfast as well, and so I want to say big up to Pastor Murphy, Pastor Vince, and of course the team. I met a long time friend, a young lady by the name of Smichael. I won't tell her first name, but I want to say good morning to you as well as we continue. But birthday celebration, Dalton Lewis has celebrated one more year upon them. And of course, this morning the celebration continues. Had a wonderful birthday celebration yesterday, and I was wined and dined by his wife, and of course interacting with family and everything. And of course, Mr. Michael Lewis as well. He's having a birthday as well today. I don't want to say the age because I don't know the ages of these individuals, but the thing is, they are having their experience of their Earth Strong right here on the planet Earth. Walking on your grave once again is an awesome experience. Good morning to you, our birthday celebrants. And of course, remember guys, our birthday club continues. Our celebration continues each month end. We have a celebration on the Smith Cove Beach for our birthday club celebrants. So of course, we can give shout outs, and of course, for those who are celebrating birthdays, come and get a cake cut right there on the beach at Smith Cove. And of course, some sake and saltfish and some fried dumpling and I don't know, some roast yam and all of that. I don't know what's going on. It is, I don't know. I don't know. You well, some chocolate tea.
Yes, we have authentic chocolates. I'm gonna share that. Authentic, yeah. I say handcrafted.
Handcrafted chocolate tea.
Yes. Yeah, can't miss that.
Can't miss it. Flashpoint Radio FM continues all day today. Please continue to enjoy Flashpoint wherever you go. Take Flashpoint with you, as the man Minister Claude Edwards would tell you. www.flashpointmedia.ky.
Listening to Flashpoint Radio. Number 2, you ain't gonna keep it to yourself. Flashpoint Radio. Internet comes alive. Inspiration.